Welcome back to the Eye of Jupiter Live. But today we're going to be doing the Form of the Forbidden. So we're going to go ahead and go right to that. These are my buddies, Daniel Cahoon and Fisher of Spam. Welcome,
Hey.
guys.
Hi.
Welcome. Hey, you guys like that intro? You digging the intro?
Yeah.
That was cool.
Good
That was
job.
very cool.
Proud of you.
Little different. I figured I'd just make it a little different, give it a little different type of energy thing, kind of like hey, this is us, and it's a little wild. Okay, so let's start off. Daniel, please tell us a little bit about your show and where we can find you, buddy.
Hey, I am Daniel Cahoon, the host of Magical Journey. You can find me obviously on this amazing platform, but you can also find me in a couple of other really great places. Magicaljourney.com, which is the place to go to find all of the links for social network. There's a little bit of extra stuff on there, like special guest appearances I've done. And I try to update that site fairly often because there are some changes from time to time. And then obviously the Book of Faces, you can always find me there on the group Magical Journey. It has a lot of good stuff that I post on there, kind of like extra from the usual podcast stuff and so forth, as well as get to know some of my supporters on there. Also, there's the Magical Journey page, which is not as exciting as the group, but it does give you an update of all of the stuff that I'm currently posting, and possibly some upcoming stuff. I think I'm trying to work on that. And then the not the forum. What is that? Oh yeah, the Paranormal Files. Padlock. The Paranormal Files.
You have to go
Paranormal
back.
Files.
Yeah, old Danny Padlock over there.
Padlock and Porta Potty.
That's right.
The Paranormal Files has its own page too. Check that out. And of course, you can find me on X and TikTok. And I think that's kind of where I'm at right now with most of that.
Fantastic, dude. Jim, please do me a favor. Introduce yourself and let everyone know where they can find you, dude.
All right. Well, I'm Jim, also known as Fisher of Spam. I'm here on YouTube. You can find me at Fisher of Spam's The Night's Watch. Let's see here. I got the Facebooks too. Technically, I've got a no, not TikTok. What's that other thing called? X. I got an X. Let's see here. Yeah. I'm a cool guy. Come hang.
Okay, and you also seem to be moonlighting as a train engineer. Good.
Well,
Conductor.
you know, I figured since that, you've got a little bit more of a European type audience, I'd wear my genuine leather lederhosens. And then
I do? I have a European audience?
Somewhat. You got friends from like Germany and stuff.
Yeah, I guess, but it doesn't mean I have a European audience. It's mostly American. Mostly.
I said slightly. Just a little
okay,
bit.
a little bit more than you. All right.
I just want to say how volcanic that shirt is.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wore my Hawaiian shirt, and the green screen effect is taking over all of it, so it's kind of weird. But anyways, yeah, doing that. Then got a British hat on, so I figured, German on the bottom, British head. You can call me the royal family.
Oh,
right.
That's another episode in itself right there. If you guys don't know that, my name is Tom Franklin. You are watching the Eye of Jupiter podcast. You can catch me every Wednesday on a live, just like this one. Every Friday, I release an episode. You can also find me on Rumble. You can also find me on Spotify. Instagram is a new one. Go over there and follow me, like me, and say hello. And if you enjoy the channel, go ahead and like and subscribe to it. While you're at it, like and subscribe to all the rest of them. Let's see. His is Jim's here. I also got a Facebook page you guys can go check out. This is Jim's YouTube channel. Go ahead and check that out. I got that all in the bottom. All right. So The topic of the form of the forbidden today. I do not know why there's no background. Let me go ahead and put a background on this Joker. I don't know what happened. So let me go ahead and it's going to be one of my backgrounds, gentlemen. Just go ahead and deal with it. Ew. Not that you can see anything, but fair enough. There it is.
Just hanging out in a ravine surrounded by grass. Yeah, that's cool.
Cool. That's where normally you would put the train tracks. Hello, Mark Paul. What's up, man? He's from Ohio. All right, that's a new face. That's cool. Thanks for coming by. So, what are we talking about today, gentlemen? Anyone want to take the reins, or should I?
I don't know. What are we
All
talking
right,
about
fair
again?
enough. We're talking about the interesting situation in which now all standard tuning would be standard guitar tuning is Easter bunnies get drunk at Easter. So EGBDAE, I think that's right. At Easter AE, yes. That's how I remember Easter bunnies get drunk at Easter. That's deep string, the high string. But that resonance in which a string is on was set back in 1939, and it is at 440 hertz. It used to be, or at least well known, that actually there was multiple different tunings, and we want to discuss why it is now changed to 440 as the standard tuning and its possible effects upon your psyche as well as its dissonance compared to the Earth's resonance. Very interesting. Magical. The floor is yours.
I just want to thank Pam, too, our awesome moderator, for giving us this topic this week, because this is an amazing.
Thanks.
Topic. You know what? We sent Jim out of the room. He disappeared.
No, I didn't send him anywhere. He might have to go pick. Yeah, he probably has something he has to do. He'll be back.
Yeah. So I want to throw this in really quickly, because this is something I thought about while I was preparing for today a few moments ago. And like, if you guys remember, at one time, Target had dead silence in their stores. They would not play music over the intercoms because it was considered a guest distraction. And then all of a sudden, a little while back, their marketing team decided, oh, wait a minute, all that calm and quiet is not a guest distraction. If you want to keep your shoppers in the store longer, you need to play some music to,
right.
And so now all of a sudden, what used to be a guest distraction and a big no-no. Oh, wow. A big no-no.
What happened to the hat?
I took it off.
Oh, okay.
Did you change shirts too?
Nope. Green screen is turned off.
I was gonna say he's fast if you did that.
Right.
Yeah, please continue with the yeah.
So now, like, all Target stores do have music over the PA. And the first time I walked into one and realized it, I was like actually in the store for a few minutes, and I was kind of like bouncing my head to this song that they were playing, and I just realized, wait a minute, they're playing music. Well, it turns out that psychologically, more people will shop for a longer period of time in a store if they have music playing and so forth. So their average shopper time in the store increased as a result of that. Well, one of the things that I was thinking about was how interesting it is that we went from a zero noise policy to establishing that music was the answer for keeping people in the store longer to shop. And the reasoning behind that obviously is, we have this attention span thing going on with music, and this interesting relationship with music. Like, if people are driving down the road, they turn on their radio, or they plug their, they connect their phone now to play their music list and so forth. And whatever they're doing, cleaning house, going for a walk, whatever is up with them, there's always music going, and that music is always affecting their actions and moods.
Right.
Always. And this is, again, it's a little bit new agey and so forth to say, but the frequency of music is highly, um, just almost abused in a way in uh, several, like there's a whole genre on YouTube of frequency music for various things, sleeping, meditation, healing.
Yeah.
There's the connect with your higher self. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. And one of the things that we know from this and from people's reaction and um, their use of music is that it definitely does affect somehow, like the nervous system, or even the choice of foods that we eat and so forth. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of fast food restaurants and so forth will play specific types of music. This kind of a slower, more calming cadence and so forth. But yeah, I mean, it's inevitable that that we finally have discovered that if you place music beside, especially imagery, like you see at concerts and so forth like that, you can manipulate the thoughts and behaviors of people. And I think that's one of the reasons why this is such a huge topic, is because you can literally put somebody from 0 to 60 in no time just by music choices.
Right. I was like thinking about that where you were talking about Target. They tried something that's kind of similar back in the NFL back in, like, I think it was either the 80s or the late 70s, where they actually had a broadcast of an NFL game without any color commentary. And they realized that people did not like that. They like to have someone like kind of talking to them as they're watching the game. So it's very interesting how suggestive that kind of stuff can be. Jim, do you want to go ahead and like maybe chime in for a second on the subject, or do you want me to go for it, buddy?
Well, I mean, go ahead and finish out your thought.
Yeah, that was my thought. I was just kind of basically piggybacking off of what Daniel was talking about.
Okay, well,
about when it comes to like retaining an audience.
Right. Yeah, I think it's all pretty interesting. I mean, obviously, I went down a couple of rabbit holes myself looking into this, and I mean, the most important question that I have to pose to you guys on this is, what good music did you find that you really liked on 432?
Not much.
Oh, nothing good?
Not much. I actually listened. If you like, okay, this was kind of my take that I was telling you I was going to have. So I like listened to like, certain songs. There was Pink Floyd. He played 1 in 432 and played 1 in 440. I think it was Wish You Were Here.
Yes,
and
I saw that.
I guess it's because I'm accustomed to it, which makes me wonder if I'm already under the spell of it, that I enjoyed it in its original tuning. But I can see how someone would like it in 432 if it was original. But there was a very detuney, kind of odd-timed, odd note things, because I like things like tritones, like Black Sabbath. I like really odd time signatures and odd music. So for me, honestly, the music I like is kind of disturbing. So for me, I kind of prefer 440. And I don't know if it's because I'm under the spell of it, but if you want to have some like what's that stuff they do? The middle age music or something, middle age bling bling on the flumes and looms, or religious music, which I don't like either of. I don't like any of that kind of stuff. I don't even like that power metal. I don't like that. I don't like like We Will Fight Together on the Hills, like kind of metal music either. I like really deep, odd time signature music, but I do see how one is more pleasant, but like I said, I don't like pleasant music.
It's understandable. Yeah, I know what you're talking
Sometimes.
about.
Sometimes I do.
I saw that video too, and like the entire time, like I kind of felt myself vibing to the 440 more, just because I guess that's what I'm used to. But I did notice that, like, for instance, on the Pink Floyd song, because I did like that one a lot, and listening to it in that tuning made me want to actually kind of relax a little bit and sing along. Like I felt like I wanted to do that more. So I was like, okay, so let's listen to some more stuff, and I went and looked at a couple more Pink Floyd stuff to see if I had that same kind of chill. And I went and listened to a lot of Tool because I love Tool.
Right.
And
Got you.
yeah, and there's the whole timing thing that goes along with them too, right? And
Yeah, but they play more. But honestly, Tool plays a lot more in a certain scale. There's a certain scale they use
yeah,
that
yeah.
makes it, even if it is 440 or whatever they're at, they might even be a 430 soon, knowing it's Tool. Uh, it's still, it's got both. It has that like kind of, especially the older stuff from like the Anemia, like 1996 release is very
Mhm.
dark and weird, like Third Eye and
Yeah, yeah.
Stink Fist and songs like that. But if you listen to anything, say from the new album, it
Mhm.
sounds more 432-ish. It's more upbeat and happy. My
Uh, yeah. I mean, like I listened to Numa, and I thought
great
that was
song.
yeah, it was pretty good in 432. I listened to what was it? There was two that really no, four that struck me really hard. Um w- I listened to Schism, which is like one of my favorite songs, and I did not like it at all. I
I can
listened
imagine.
to yeah, it drove me insane. But now when
Yeah.
I swapped over to the Cellival album, which is like my favorite, I listened
Which
to
one? Which
new
album? Which album?
Cellival, the live one, Cellival.
Oh, I don't know that one. The live one?
It's good. It's worth
Didn't know they
looking at.
had a live album. It's
Yeah.
not like an actual release, is it? I don't think so.
Yeah, it came
They
out
don't
as a
release,
CD, but you can't buy it on like
right, because they don't
iTunes.
make actual live releases. Tool doesn't do that.
Right. But anyways, the moral of that story is like those songs on that album are a lot more slower and a lot more
Hypnotic.
conscious. I don't know, hypnotic. Yeah, sure. And like I felt that my two favorite songs, which was No Quarter and
Great
Push It.
song.
Yeah, Push It.
Great song.
Like those were okay. Like I could feel my mood changing as I listened to them. Like even the dog was with me and the dog was like all pieced out and relaxed. But then again, she likes to listen to Tool with me in the car anyway. So maybe it was just that time.
What's
I
your
don't know.
dog's name? Maynard?
Close. It's actually called Mabel. But yeah, but like I couldn't get past the filter that I felt like the song was going through to be at that hertz frequency range, right? Like
Right.
it felt more tinny and granular to me, very tin canish. Like that drove me insane. And I was just like,
Right.
I could feel it, but I was like, what's going on here? And it made me go down another rabbit hole of this whole like the videos like on YouTube that are like 8-9 hours long, the neural beats and all that stuff that are like
Oh,
the 432, right?
right.
And I did some investigation and almost none of them are actually hitting that 432 note. So I was like, huh, there's a lot going on here. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So I
It's
mean,
very
that was just
interesting.
my thought, but then again, like I said, maybe that's just me, kind of like what you said. I'm a bass player. So hearing that low and mid range, really resonates with me more so than anything else. But, somebody playing an acoustic guitar live in that tuning, I did notice was very warm and nice and fuzzy, so
So,
I don't know.
so a little bit of backstory on the actual tuning. It's very interesting. Like back, I think it was before. Actually, got it written down here. I think before, somewhere in the mid 1800s or the 17th century or 16th century, there was no standard type tuning.
Right.
Every town, every country, and even within those countries, every town had different tunings. I'm sure we watched the same video doing some of this. Some of it was
Sounds
at
like it.
4, like for example, Bach was at 415. That's
Mhm.
very interesting. And then in 1939, it was propagandized by Joseph Goebbels, who is the propaganda master at the time. And he, also subsidized and backed by, I believe, the Illuminati as well as the Rockefellers and the Rothschild family, or Rothschild, if you guys speak German, which means red shield. They kind of pushed this through. And I think it was then adopted, I think, the first by the French.
Mhm.
And interesting thing about 432, when you divide it by 2 each time, it gets back to the resonance of the earth, which is 8 hertz, also known as the Schumann resonance, which is also very healing and appeasing and very relaxing. And oddly enough, 440 is the worst one that could be picked from the research that I did. If it's 439, it's closer to being more comfortable for you. And if it's 441, it's closer to being more comfortable for you. But 440 is exactly the resonance. So someone asked about tuning and frequency. Okay, so there's an E. I think it's somewhere. Where is it? C. Where is it at? C. A above middle C, which is, I don't know how I still don't understand all that. Being a musician myself,
Mm.
I like to drop tune on A. So I'm A, C, B, 2.5 step down, two steps, 2.5 steps down when I play my music. So I'm drop tune on the seventh fret of the was normally it's on fifth, and then the one before is on fourth, and then fifth again. But I go to seventh, and then everything else is regular tuning.
Right.
Very interesting that it would be the Nazis and Joseph Goebbels. You have anything you want to add to that? Because I'm sure that I know you, Daniel. You love a little bit of research when you get your chance. Anything that you looked into, my friend?
Really, that's kind of where I camped at with it, was because it was the real introduction happened just prior to World War II, right?
Mhm.
Yes, 1939.
Where they
This
and so it kind of set the pace for the timing of all of that. And the thing with Germany and and their whole shenanigans at that point,
I love how you just surmise the Third Reich as shenanigans, but please continue.
Shenanigans. Yes.
Shenanigans, hilarious. I love it.
Yeah.
You're always good for a great soundbite, my friend.
There you go. Padlock porta
Yeah.
potty.
Thank you, buddy. Padlock.
That's right.
It's like was it popping and locking? It was padlock.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Yeah. So in reality, it does not at all surprise me that is the source. What really surprises me is that it took off to be the firestorm it was as quickly as it did, because you look at, I mean, we as people are not prone to being the quickest creatures on earth sometimes. And so it kind of, that's why retail puts things out sometimes 3 or 4, well, all the time now, 3 or 4 months before an actual event, because it takes about 3 or 4 months of looking at something to decide you're going to buy it. And it's kind of the way the human race tends to act sometimes, is that it takes them about 3 or 4 months to actually bite into something. And so the fact that this just turned into a whirlwind the way it did, as quickly as it did, and it evolved into the Great Battle, is to me very interesting. I kind of find that was, like I said, that's kind of where I wound up camping at for a while on this, with just
Hmm.
its effect on the globe at the time that it was released out.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. It's pretty wild because if you listen to if you listen to today's music, I mean, okay, so all the greatest music would then normally be probably in the 440. Like, you listen like the Beatles, like, I mean, come on, like if you don't know the Beatles are a great band, then you're kind of missing the boat. I didn't
For real.
really start getting get into the Beatles until like recently, honestly, because everyone here is like playing the Beatles, and like I didn't know this was a Beatles song. I didn't know that was a Beatles song. I just didn't listen to it. I grew up with like Elvis. I grew up with Led Zeppelin and John Cougar Mellencamp and country music. My dad's a big country music fan, so it's like it's got its own little thing going on. And and it's really interesting too. Like I love music. That was my first love is music. I still enjoy it to this day. I still enjoy partaking in cannabis and listening to personally like drone type music, but I love the deepness of it because somehow that resonance of the low A, when you have the proper distortion behind it and it's played in a certain way, just really makes me to connect to everything and everyone.
Right.
A suggestion for people, if you want something really weird that you've never listened to before, if you are a consumer, and not saying it's a good or a bad thing, and if you haven't done it before, then don't do it because of me, is listen to a song that took a band 4 years to write, and it took them $250,000 worth of cannabis to write a song, and it is an hour long, and let's see, it's 104 minutes. What is that? And 64 minutes long, an hour and 4 minutes long, and it's called "Dope Smoker" by the great band known as Sleep. And I tell you what, you want to hear some fuzzed out, take you to another galaxy, rapicious, but insanely cool song. I would suggest you go ahead and do that. But beware, put on your headphones, lay in your bed, get yourself, get to the resonance of the earth first. If you have to go outside and lay supine and stare up at space for a minute, connect with the other, like I like to do, connect with the higher consciousness. Come into your house, or even if you can take it outside and get some good headphones and listen to that song. It took me forever to even get it to like why am I listening to an hour song? And the first time I did it, I was like doing something like monotonous that you have to do at the house, like clean the garage or what the hell I was doing. And I just kind of played in the background. I was just like, hey, that's it. And then one day it just hit me, and it is a MFer of a song, dude. So I do enjoy odd stuff. But the music nowadays, but even within the song, there's a lot of little changes. And if you really, it's just like the parts you're used to being, say, a chorus, which is not set up that way. But your chorus, your verse, your solos, your pre-verse, and all these things that go into a song and song structure, which the Beatles are incredible at. If you listen to what's the one? If you things change my don't sing her. If you see things my way, we have time. We can work it out, because I don't want to get tagged by anybody. We can work it out. And you can see that they're playing on, I think it's on an 8. I don't know. The tempo is not important, but I think they're playing like a, it's a 4 thing and fighting. It's on a 4. Then it's like, then it goes from a 4 to a 16, although the tempo stays the same. But the switch is incredible. And if you listen to it, you can just see like, oh, this fits, even though it's like a shock. But this song I'm talking about doesn't do that. And the music nowadays is super drony. And here's a question to you, fellas. Like people, I'm not making fun of people and their music taste. I am a bit of a music elitist. But I do find that people who listen to metal music or heavy rock music, or in our case, if you listen to Tool, it's more of a prog type music, which is great. It's a thinking man's music or a thinking person's music. But I do like, if you find people that like, if they have like glowing lights on the bottom of their car and a spoiler on the back, they're listening to some type of electronic music. And I tend to feel that these people are not, they are, for me, closer to NDE than the people who don't listen to it. But I'm not, now, don't get me wrong. You give me a beer in me, it's on a Friday, I'm at a beach, I went to a concert like this recently, and you get the bass hitting you and you're having a good time with your friends, it can be a lot of fun. But to be alone in my car or in my house, I just can't do that. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
What you got, Magic?
Nothing. Okay.
Like, I mean, yeah, I kind of wonder about that myself sometimes, because it's like, I
There it
mean,
is.
it's fine if, like I said, if you are, if you're in a, a social setting, or you're at a bar or whatever, and and you've got some electronica going and so forth, that's fine. That's great. But just hanging out in your car, driving down the highway, listen to it. To me, it
Oh,
seems like it would
oh,
be kind of mind-boggling to want
I hear you.
people to want
Is
to
it,
do that.
Mark? Is this the actual video for deep for smoke deeps for dope smoker from sleep? That might be the actual video. Like I said, guys, put yourself an hour aside and get ready for that. That's a journey, a magical one.
Yeah,
About to say, you
right.
could even say it's a magical one.
Magical journey. Yes. Look at us over here
That
self-promoting each other.
evidently that's like a 2022 remaster,
Well, they
which
have to
2022 was a
it's
good
such an
year for remaster.
so the reason why they had to remaster it, dude, is because when they took this 1 hour song to the record company who gave them the money, they're like, what are we supposed to do with this shit? So they took it and like split it apart in sections and tried to like market it that way. And then it was like a 7-year wait. They got it back and they remastered it, I think, in 2009, 15, and then again in 22. So when you remaster your stuff, then it becomes your own stuff now. All right, let's see here. All right, let's see. Oh, another good band, Mark Paul is Yob. Listen to the song called Marrow, Marrow. It's a nice 20-minute rendition of our connection with the universe, God, and each other. It's a fantastic song. It's going to be played when I'm pushing up daisies and you guys come and go check me out when I do my transition. That song will be playing. Let's see, that's our buddy from Destination Spooky, Victor, the Reverend Victor S. Johnson. I went to a place there, was a highly publicized glitch in the Matrix during the 1950s last week. What are you referring to?
Oh, I totally forgot. Did you guys mark yourselves safe from the
What?
alien invasion yesterday?
I heard about that. What was that all about?
It was all over YouTube yesterday. Like, even
Yeah.
Black Mass Paranormal did a whole, like, the longest live he's ever done on it. I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah. Space daddies were having a custody battle. So, I don't know.
So who won?
Says who? The Space Daddies?
Who says who? The
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
little what was it? It was like an AI bot that he made that was basically made to figure out predictions in the stock market. But when he applied it to other things, it made lots of different predictions, and plenty of them came true. Not all of them, but yeah, it happened like in 2005 or something.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of nonsense, but that sparked my memory of it. Sorry.
Okay, what he was referring to, I don't know how this fits to the subject, but we can talk about this, Vic. We can talk about this, Victor. If you want to jump on, I can actually send you the link if you'd like. If maybe one of you guys can grab the link and send it to Victor. If you can jump on, buddy, you can jump on if you'd like. This is a good friend of mine. Crown City, Ohio, a house appeared to everyone in the neighborhood and then it disappeared. I didn't see anything. That's interesting. Shared and unshared experiences. Yeah, Yalmar, first 10 seconds will sound great. Listen to the rest later. Okay, I'm giving people some music. Cool, man. That's a good song. Yeah, so this is the link to Yalmaro. one of my favorite songs that I've found in the last 5 years.
One of the things that I want to go back and look
So
at
yeah,
this week,
Alien Daddies came down. Sure, go for it.
Yeah. So one of the things I want to look at this week is, and kind of figure out what's going on there, is the supposed success of the new Linkin Park album. It, like, I read somewhere where it secured all 10 spots of the top 10 from the release of that album. I haven't really heard anything about it yet or heard the album yet, but I know the last thing from Linkin Park that I really got into was what was the song? I can't remember the name of the song right this minute. Something about lights. I can't remember the name of the song all of a sudden.
So apparently wasn't that good.
One more light. One more light. Yeah, that was the name of the song. And it was it was ironic because it was one of the last songs, I believe, that Chester did. And if you go back and listen to it, it's just like, yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Very tearjerker, which is really strange considering the whole thing with Chester. But
right,
yeah,
which is a whole conspiracy in and of itself.
Oh man, you can get into. There's him, Chris Cornell. They were like friends, and they both did the same thing.
Yeah.
If you look kind of unself with that. All right. Okay.
Well, and YouTube,
doorknob. Okay.
And YouTube, we call that a sewer slide.
Yeah.
A sewer slide, right.
Sewer slide.
Evidently, there was like supposedly some connection between Chester and MK Ultra or something. Somewhere.
John Podesta.
What?
John Podesta's his father.
Oh yeah.
Who's his father? Whose father?
Chester
Pennington.
Yeah. Crap. I just said his name. John Podesta.
John Podesta is Chester Bennington's father.
That's the claim.
Okay, so it's kind of like, is it kind of like along the lines of the Prime Minister of Canada's father is the dude from freaking Cuba kind of thing, or a little bit more better connected?
Yeah, it's similar to that, except there's a lot of Concord grapes going on with this whole story. And it's super dark. Super dark.
I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine, dude. I can imagine. So very interesting. And then we can kind of keep on talking. So what's his face? I call him Weekend at Bernie's. Pardon his son there for back into possible things that happened in 2014. Although he went on saying that I would never do that and I will uphold the justice system. But I guess it's only if they got reelected. And like I said, a lot of presidents have done this for nefarious reasons. But when you stand on the pedestal, when you stand on the soapbox and you say how good we are and how bad you are, it's not a good look.
For sure.
So anyways, wild, dude. Yeah, anyway, love and happiness, 440.
Yeah, speaking of Nazis. No, I don't know. Oh, that got him. Got him. Yes.
Oh man, this is it's very, very, very interesting that when you take 432 and you divide it by 2 each time, it gets back to the resonance of the earth. Have you guys actually felt the resonance of the earth? You know, it's very important to take your shoes off and ground yourself. You do know that, right? And walk through the grass.
Right. Or lay down on the ground even and just kind of vibe with it. Yeah.
Did you see Jim's face? He's kind of like, it sounds like a bunch of tree hugging hippie stuff to me, man. But I'm telling you, if you do it,
so many briars and thistles and fire ants. I ain't doing it, bro. Sorry.
Fire ants?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No.
You don't see the ants down here. You just stick. I remember playing with fire ants one time in the military. I had to do push-ups on one of the mountains, and they bit me quite a bit. And I told them, I started screaming and said, I have to move. And
Mm.
after I on my hand for about 10 minutes, I was able to return to physical training. What's up, Mike? Busy,
Hey,
man. Busy. You know
Michael.
how it is. There's somebody who's happy that Pennsylvania went a certain way. Well, good for you, Mike. Michael Anthony, go check him out. It's called 10 O'Clock Talks. Cool guy.
Mm.
I've had him on before, and he can run down some rabbit holes. We're talking about the 440 frequency and the 432 and the resonance of the earth and how it's was propaganda to be the lead thing, the lead tuning for today's music, which I would even call it music. I wouldn't even call it music. A lot of it is just like, especially the stuff they have running here. Like in Mexico, like you'll hear a song and you'll hear the melody, and I'm like, isn't it Fergie? But this, there's this
Right.
one. I hope you know this song. It's a Fergie song, and I was like, "That's Fergie, dude." And then it's all in Spanish, or there'll be a. I heard a song, and it's just I can't remember. It's so many songs that is take and rip and put Spanish on it, and it's pretty wild. Oh yeah, Mike's a musician too. Michael's a
Oh,
musician too.
that reminds me. Have you guys seen like the? I mean, he's like basically like a meme at this point, right? And it's like this guy from I don't know, like Peru or something like that. Real old looking feller, and he's like singing songs that obviously none of those people there have probably heard, but they're like common here. Like he was singing Chop Suey, and it was hilarious. Oh my gosh. I cry when the die. And I was just like, oh, you know, and I had the whole Latin flair to it or whatever they listened to down there in Peru, and it was just oh my god, it was the most cringy thing I think I've heard in a very long time. I was proud of him for it.
Yeah, it's weird because like the culture of Mexico is so musically driven. The only thing it's fine. I don't really like I've been to Germany. I've listened to it's called Schlager music, which is like German country music, which is like,
Mm.
doot 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 doot. Wir
They wear
singen die
these.
Bergen zusammen, kind of this kind of stuff. Don't like it.
Mm.
And the Mexican stuff is kind of like, your eyes, your heart, your lips, I love you kind of stuff. And it drives me up a wall. And everyone down here thinks they can sing. That's another thing. At a party, at a I swear they have these like little voice or like speakers that they hook a microphone to, and they play a song over Spotify, and everyone just go ahead and does karaoke, and it drives me up a wall. I'm like, this is a party. Why are we singing about being sad? I want to, I want to make the grass red with
Well,
paint. I want to
maybe
party.
maybe the speaker is tuned to 440, and that's
Oh,
why.
um,
Oh,
yeah, it's awful. I don't like it. But
dum.
so they know European music, they'll know American music, they'll know Canadian music, they'll know Colombian, Brazilian, Mexican, of course, and they also know, like, oddly enough, Korean music, like K-pop and stuff. Like Mexico knows music, and it's weird. I'll play a song for her. She goes, "I know this one." I'll play another song for my girlfriend. Oh, I know this one. And then I go deep in my bag with like Yob and stuff like that. And she goes, I never heard this before. I was like, nobody knows it. It's one of those things. And yeah, it's pretty wild. Like how they decided on a frequency, honestly, to bring it kind of back a little bit, how they decided on a frequency, which seems to be the antithesis of consciousness, the antithesis of the natural harmony and balance of nature. And it's like, so I watched another video. It's like describing listening to like listening to static.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know how when you listen to an FM channel and then as you go is listening to static, and then it gets to a point where it's super annoying and feeds over and it kind of makes you feel crappy, and then you change into another station or you change it over yourself. That's
Yeah.
what the whole human race is on right now. But the
Mm-hmm.
music itself, especially top 40 or whatever that is, you have to know, especially, okay, when you listen to music, you have to know that's a company, and a company is held by stockholders who are these stockholders? Most of them are like big Fortune 500 companies or some type of weird like BlackRock, Overstreet kind of thing.
Mhm.
Uh, and they're the bean counters. They're looking for the money. So
Right.
if you anytime you add money to any type of art, it's not art anymore. And people listen to music not as an artistic thing anymore. They listen to it as more of a background fuzz as they're alphabetizing. Actually, did you see me? You see me miming someone in a file cabinet? Hey, let me roll my window down in my Cadillac while I'm at it.
Mhm.
It's like I am a comic. So it's like it's meant to distract you and not inspire you. It's meant to make you feel a malaise of comfortability while doing something that's not for you.
Right.
That's not for your liking. So a lot of people, a lot of the time, are doing something they don't want to do so they can make ends meet. So they listen to something in the background where it's like, and it's all super hyper sexualized. It's really dumbed down. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like when you're it doesn't matter what you're into. That's not what I'm here about. It's when you're with somebody and you feel this certain thing that, hey, what's up, Harley?
What
Harley's
up,
up
man?
in this mug. What's up, Harley? Good to see you back, at least on a need to know basis. Yes, all is well, my
Right.
friend. Yeah. And when you listen to this stuff, it's like when you're connecting with somebody, it's much more than like, your booty is big and it's wet and I want to bite it. It's I'm sorry, it's gross.
That's
And
gross.
it's gross. It's gross. WAP. This is a WAP, whatever the fuck that song is. I don't know. That's real music. You're
Okay.
such a ho. I love it. And people are like, yeah. And it's just, please go ahead, Jim. I know Jim.
Wait.
Jim, go ahead and spin it, baby. Spin
Hold
it.
on. There's a metal version of that song that's awesome. It's so funny.
Can't be true. Impossible.
Hmm.
Go look it up. It's so funny. It's by Leo Marcacaloni. I don't know. It's like a weird Scandinavian name. But anyways,
The
he's on
drummer
YouTube.
guy.
He does all the instruments actually. But anyways, he does a phenomenal job. And it is so funny. And like it keeps cutting away to like a hand puppet of a cat dancing underneath the sink and stuff. It's so funny. It's great. It's definitely worth checking
Jim,
out.
Jim, I love you, brother, but you're the kind of guy who I'd imagine that gets distracted really easily by like squirrels and stuff. You know
Have
what I
you
mean? Like
noticed
the
how many
hand puppet
times
that
I've
you would
changed my
remember.
background picture?
Yeah.
True
Yes, I
story.
have.
Okay,
Yes,
then.
I have.
There
So-
you go.
The only like good metalized song I've ever heard is that Rebecca Black Friday. Remember that Friday, like 2013. I'm 10. This is 12,
Oh,
11, 12
yeah.
years ago. And there was a metal version of that song. That was cool. I was like, okay, let's go with this. Cardi
it.
B. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
So-
she would actually, like lose some weight, she would be cardio. Sorry. That's an old joke I used to have.
Wow.
Nice.
It was set up better than that. It was set up better.
Oh, okay.
One of
Go
the
ahead.
things
Sorry, Dan.
that really kind of comes to mind with me with this whole thing with 440 and so forth is the whole concept of things like commercial jingles and so forth like that. Advertisement and the advertisement industry and how they have really capitalized on this. Like if you go back and you look at, and y'all, I'm a little bit crazy sometimes. So sometimes, yeah, whatever. Anyway, so if you go back and you look at commercials from the 1950s or so, you find like the jingles, the music behind them and so forth to be very different from now. And I always find that very interesting. Yeah, very different from now. Like now you get McDonald's, "Ba, da, 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 I'm loving it," and all that kind of crap. But it's like, you know, back in the 50s, you got like the jingle for Dippity Doo and things like that, where you were just they were really cool and real hyper
Dude, remember
jazzy and
like the
all this
beginning
kind of
of like
stuff.
this 80s, the 80s like shows, like they would have like a friggin' song, dude, at the beginning that you
Dun, dun,
remember, like
Mm.
dun,
Alf and
dun, dun,
yeah,
dun,
yeah,
dun, dun.
yeah.
Yeah,
Or even the
yeah.
60s and the 70s. And yeah.
Mm.
And I can remember those jingles so well. Like even the color red is another thing, like visually, and they put all the red stuff right where the children can see it. You know that. You're into that
Hmm.
stuff. That's what you do. And then they
Hmm.
make the store like a maze where you can't get out of it. IKEA is the master of it. I feel like there
Oh
should
my
Oh
be
God.
God.
cheese hanging up in the aisles in IKEA because I feel like a freaking rat in there. Yeah, Andy Griffith show with the whistling. Yeah, absolutely.
Dun,
That's true.
dun,
So it's
dun,
all
dun,
meant to
dun,
be,
dun.
yeah.
Yeah,
Dun, dun, dun,
Ich
dun,
liebe
dun,
es. I
dun.
know the German version of McDonald's.
right.
What's
Well,
that
and
sound like?
so
Da
with
da da
that,
da da. Ich liebe es.
yeah,
I love it.
yeah.
I'm loving it.
It's like, and that whole Nike
No.
just do it thing during the 80s was just over the top stupid. But you know, it's a call to action. The call to action with these things, and
Right.
and there's always this interesting, like the symbolisms behind everything. Again, with Nike and the swoosh and all that. Um, if you look at how they pair it all together, it you know what we're there was the whole thing with the one rapper who they really kind of pushed the issue about his concert where everybody just started like surging forward during
Mm.
when he first came on stage, and just having like a mass casualty event before the
Right.
concert even really got started good. You know, again, he was mixing his music with symbolism and imagery and so forth that really sparked them at the time. And
Hmm.
unfortunately, I mean, let's go back to what was it the fire station with Whitesnake? That whole thing back during the 90s with the was was it the fire station bar that they were playing at that
Is that the one that
Whitesnake
had
had.
the where like everything caught on fire and there
Yeah,
was like a lot of
yeah.
people who
There was
unlives
some
and stuff like that,
pyrotech.
and they had a
Yeah,
yeah
Oh.
yeah.
one
There
over
was
capacity, I think it
pyrotechnics
was
that
of the right.
like yeah, it was. There was over. I think there was over 100 people that perished in that one, and the what happened was there was flammable material on the ceiling and the walls,
Hmm.
and the pyrotechnics were over the top and it caught everything on fire. At first, everybody thought it was just part of the show. And then they realized real quickly, oh, yeah, this is not. And,
Mm.
Hmm.
it literally stampede mentality took
Right.
over. But, again, it's all about the call to action with this stuff. And I think that's where we you we need to learn to guard ourselves when we're bombarded by this stuff. Taylor Swift, oh my gosh. Don't get me wrong, I'm kind of a closet Swiftie in a way, but some of her music, um, Out of the Woods, which is overplayed on at some of the grocery stores that I work at and so forth.
Mm.
It's one of those songs that when you watch it performed on stage and so forth is very ethereal, kind of very mystical energy behind it, the symbolisms of them being in a wooded area. And I think in one of her performances she was actually wearing a hooded cloak, um, and it was almost like it was, yeah, it was really weird the way that it was set up and so forth. And I was thinking about it, I was like, this would explain why when this song comes on, it immediately has that kind of bouncy, but yet kind of weird, methodical beat to it. And
Right.
I've
I
never heard a
was
Taylor
like,
Swift song. I've never heard of
really?
I never heard a Justin Bieber song. No, dude. I'm a metalhead, dude. When my
Right.
friends come and we have a party, it's like, hey, have you heard the new, Oncoming Storm from Unearthed? Have you heard the new Kill Switch Engage? I know I could tell you all the albums from Kill Switch Engage. You probably can't tell me but maybe one song, maybe. It's a
Maybe.
different thing. I don't know that stuff. And I gotta be honest with you,
Right.
thank God. Thank God.
Yeah.
I can't keep up with it. After Christina Aguilera, I was done with it. I don't know any of these people anymore. I can tell you a couple of her songs, some Britney Spears.
Skater
That's all I
Boy, I
can
think, is
remember.
the only one of her songs that I remember.
Oh,
That was
that's
Avril
Skater
Lavigne.
Boy, isn't that Avril
Avril
Lavigne? Which
Lavigne.
is,
Yeah.
hey, Avril Lavigne was fire, dude. I ain't gonna lie, I
She
do
was
like
hot.
Avril
She was
Lavigne.
hot.
She's also a clone.
She's a clone, but she's hot. She's a hot clone.
But before we get too
That's besides
far,
the point.
yeah, before we get too far, I have to mention Taylor Swift is Anton LaVey's daughter. Tell me I'm wrong.
No kidding.
Yup.
I
So,
know who Anton
yeah.
LaVey is, the Church of Satan, right? Church of Satan, Anton LaVey?
Yes.
Yeah, he was actually
Okay,
born
good.
on
Okay,
Lakeshore
sure.
Drive in Chicago.
Oh, crazy. Who knew?
Oh, I
Chicago
think there's a
made
band called
more bad
Lakeshore
stuff.
Drive. Who's
LSD,
writing me
yeah.
now? Come on, dude.
Yeah. Driving down Lakeshore Drive.
Oh, LSD. Oh, LSD. Oh, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. I'm sorry, I'm a little old. When you're getting old when the music. Like, I remember growing up and I did like my parents' music. Like, come on, man, this is good stuff. And I'm like, yeah, with your stuff. I'm a big 90s guy. I mean, the whole grunge era, all that stuff, that's my shit. That's my stuff. I could go back and listen to Alice in Chains every day. Just one of my favorite bands. Soundgarden, Stone
Hole
Temple
was one of
Pilots.
mine.
Hole? I never
Hole.
really listened to Hole.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Maybe you have to send me
Courtney
a couple
Love
Holes
was
then.
all the rage for me at one time.
I am kind of boxed in right now.
I had a Courtney crush.
You never listened to Alice in Chains?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, man.
That was
yeah, that's weird. If you've never listened to Alice in Chains, that's crazy. To me.
no, they were pretty much like one of my big jams during the time too. So
Three Dog Night.
yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Three Dog Night is awesome, dude. That's the 70s, dude. Don't get me started on the 70s. My two favorite eras, the 70s and the 90s, are my two favorite eras of music.
Oh, the 90s were the best.
So I'm trying to remember which concert it was. Whether it was either Disturbed or Tool One, because they kind of both showed up like simultaneously. I want to say it was Disturbed, like right in the middle of one of their last concerts they did in Nashville. They did a tribute to Chester, and right in the middle of a concert for a band that you would never think, I just went into this complete meltdown. It was just like, and because it was just the way that they played it out and the imagery and so forth. Again, the call to action was very emotional. People had their phones doing the whole waving in the air. It was insane. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Again, the call to action when they do these things is where we have to kind of pull back and draw the line and say, you know what, we're not going to move past this place.
Right.
We're not going to let the music move us past this
We're getting
line.
there.
Well,
yep. But we're getting there because go ahead, please, Jim.
No, go ahead, buddy. I insist.
Oh, it's like when I was I had a band that I was trying to get off the ground. I started at the age of 24 and stopped at the age of 34. And you would see these bands were coming. There's one called Cypcore, Cypecore. And when they first started out, they made a great album. Unfortunately, the singer, who is one of my friends, he in 2022 unlifed himself. Good guy, sweetheart, very anti-war. I think he's Romanian. I think he was Romanian originally, but born in Germany. They had a really good album, and they were just regular dudes come out, kick you in your face, and get off the stage. And then when they changed the singer, and also unfortunately the bassist also had cancer, and also at a young age went away, like 28, like two of them. It was pretty wild. And they ended up like a lot of these bands. Like there was another band that I knew. What happens is it became, for the people around us. My band is called Lamera. If you ever want to check, Lamera, Lamera Metal, and you'll find it. These people would dress up in they would have like a raccoon tail on their guitar and makeup, and the other band looked like they were robots from the future. And you got freaking dragons jumping out of the PA and smoke shows and all this stuff. I never liked that, man. I never liked that. That's like you were talking about, like how they present it. It's presented as it's kind of like it's like first of all, it's idolizing. I don't think you should ever idolize anybody, and except for if you're in Jim's case, of course, the only one would be Jesus, of course, and the false idol, the golden calf. Excuse me. I know a little bit, Jim, not everything, but I know about that. But if you look at it, even like Marilyn Manson and all that stuff, it's all a mind f. It really is. And
Yeah.
I think the only reason to listen to any kind of music is because you enjoy it for its content as well as its context. And the best music for me, there's two types. There's the ones that's straightforward in your face, like love yourself, or we're gonna break some stuff tonight. You ever feel that way? There's songs for that. That's great. I also like the songs that are very metaphorical when it comes to spirituality and I'll show you, Jim. And those are the kind of things I like. But
I get it.
A lot of this music that's being pushed forth are set by these companies, that have stockholders, and it's not about the art anymore. And it's just, to kind of reiterate that. And I don't know what the future is going to be. I thought we hit the low in 2004 with Pussycat Dolls. But I was really mistaken. Don't you wish your girlfriend was raw like me? Don't you? And I was like, this is a song. And it just got progressively worse. I've since like the mid 2000s. Like it's like that was like like even like Snoop Dogg, like he did like a Snoop, we're about to drop it like a. It's just there's no substance anymore. Especially the mainstream stuff, but the underground stuff, you scratch just a little bit below the surface, you'll find the most amazing music in the world. And it did, if you're into blues or any of that stuff, like there's like people who play Stevie Ray Vaughan style music still, that'll blow your mind. And that's not what's in the front. Rosetta Stone, great song. And I like Hoffman's Keys before that. You got to put this together. Great song. I didn't like when I first heard it, but then especially the bass part, that weird, great part.
Yeah, I love it.
I have not. Heard...
Yeah, go ahead. You were saying.
Yeah.
It's sometimes it's painful, because I love that song so much, but it brings up imagery that haunts me. But yeah, no, that's all I really got. But yeah, go for it.
I have not heard the Cure's new release yet, but I understand it's pretty awesome. One of the things that really comes to mind with me, with modern, like the real top 40 stuff right now and so forth, is Nightbird from America's Got Talent, and her song "It's Okay" literally became a global phenomena overnight after she got the golden ticket for that song. There's
look at Jim's eyes moving. No, were you okay? I'm lost on two things. I love you, Magic. You know that, buddy. Two things. I don't know the song. So I don't know if that's what Jim is talking about, or is the pronunciation of the word phenomena.
Oh,
That
you
was
know, now that you
wild. I don't
mentioned
know how
that,
you said it.
Padlock
I can't pronounce it.
portal potties.
the
Padlock
phenomenon of padlocks in porta potties.
banana.
Do, 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 do.
Banana.
Do, 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 do.
Yeah, there's that.
We're gonna get messed up. You
no,
guys are gonna get
Do-do-do, do-do,
demonetized.
do-do, do-do, boop, boop, boo-do-do.
the song. So it's her story was very interesting, and I don't want to really go into that, but the song, she came out on stage and she sang the song like it just kind of like very matter of factly. It was original song that she sang, and the most amazing tribute to her was done by a it was a group of kids from Johannesburg, South Africa, who came on and did this dance tribute to this song that was just like literally I couldn't even respond. It was so amazing. And and when you see the words, when you like experience the song, especially like I said, the way those kids were doing it, it was an incredible moment. But the gist of the song is, regardless of what happens to you, how bad it gets, it's okay. You know, it it will
True.
be okay.
Nothing wrong with that
You
message.
know,
Nothing wrong with that
yeah.
message.
Well, one of her the comments that she made, that night that she got the ticket. Trying to remember the exact quote. It was like she wanted to be known for more than just the bad stuff that happened to her, and that's why she wrote the song. And I was just like,
Okay.
ugh.
So
So
that's a good suggestion. That's a music suggestion from you. What kind of music? I'm sorry, this is interesting. We're talking about songs and how they've maybe influenced you and made you feel a certain way. What kind of music, other than Tool, Jim, like a song that maybe is obscure to the rest of us? I know you're a big fan of The Who, not The Who, with not Pinball Wizard The Who, but the ones from the gentleman, the band from Mongolia. When I think of The Who,
Yeah,
for me, it's Roger Daltrey, I think his name is.
right.
He's a pinball wizard.
Yeah. I mean, I'm my musical taste varies so widely. I mean, like you, I'm a metalhead. I mean, that's my bread and butter. But I'm also a musician as well, and
Mhm.
as long as like as long as I can see talent,
Yeah,
I don't really mind so much what it is, like I've got, like the Who, the Mongolian Who. They're like rock and roll folk music from Mongolia.
but it's
I've
cool.
got
It is cool.
Yeah, and I've got like bluegrass on my phone. I've got
Yeah.
Static X, System of a Down.
Static
Yeah,
X,
yeah, I mean,
Wisconsin Death Trip. That's a
heck
great
yeah,
album.
it was, right? But I mean,
Great album.
I can listen to any of it. I mean, I even got rap now, something that I told myself when I was younger I would never do. But there's stuff from rap that I like. I find myself
Yeah.
drifting into the 80s and enjoying stuff that I used to freaking hate. The Beatles, like you brought up, I used to never like
Right.
that, but now I do. It's once, I mean, that's just the thing for me, but as far as something like obscure that really gives me the feels, that'll take a little bit of a ponder. A little bit of a ponder. Um, hmm. Hmm. I think well that also kind of shifts for me too, like daily. But one thing that I've really been coming back to a lot of late
Hey,
was
Paul.
what up, Paul? Nerd. So one thing that really has been keeps coming back is Does That Make Me Crazy by Gnarls Barkley. You know, I've
That's a
just
good
been
song.
I've been vibing on that so hard of late, man. I love that song. You
It's a
know.
good song. The only thing is that when that song came out is in my high point of my anxiety.
Mm,
That's where my high point anxiety and then the depression happened like after that, which is still kind of lingering once in a while with me.
yeah.
But I think you're crazy. I'm like, oh man, and everyone's
Yeah.
playing it, and I'm like, oh my god, maybe I'm the crazy one? It's just because when those kind of things hit you, you think you're
Yeah.
alone,
Mm,
and I clearly wasn't, but no one like
yeah.
no one was, or at least they didn't
Yeah.
show it. And then when you get older, you're like, wait a minute, everyone's got some kind of affliction,
Right.
something. And but that song in particular really messed me up. But it's a
That's
good song.
understandable.
And 303150 from the Slipknot singers band, whatever that's called. Can't think of the name of it. Good song, by the way.
Another one for me would be, like I mentioned earlier, the Cellival version of "Push It." Love it. It moves me a lot. Another good one that I know that you would know would be "Holy Mountain" by System of a Down. Yeah.
I know Holy Mountain from Sleep.
Who dat?
Sleep, Dragonaut,
Yeah.
Dope Smoker, Holy Mountain. These are like the 3 songs
Oh.
from Sleep that
Oh, that's
just
right. Sorry, I kind of zoned out when you started talking about them. My bad.
I like Spirals. I think I like Sugar from them. Sugar is a
Sugar.
great song from them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what he's talking about,
Ooh.
if you know the song, what he's really talking about, it's very cool. Very cool band. I also like BYOB, also a great song from them.
Oh yeah.
Cool little riff, especially in the chorus. Very cool song. Yeah. So, anything else, guys? Forget about it. Actually, do have to go to the men's room, and let's go ahead and wind this down. And unless Magical, you look like you're over there pondering yourself.
Actually, I was looking for the store I'm supposed to be at tonight.
He's weatherman.
So yeah, so I realize that especially in today's culture, that controlling the masses is a big deal for those in charge. You know, it's big business. They literally stay awake at night trying to find new ways of doing it. And what better way to do it than with the one thing that we apparently need almost as much as food and air and a place to sleep, which is music.
Right.
And with that, I think it's very important for us to be able to, again, like I was saying before, uh, figure out where to draw that line and where to say, I'm not going to move past this point, and make it very clear and set your boundaries when it comes to music. And the other thing is purge and rid ourselves, in a sense, of the things that no longer serve us when it comes to things like our music taste and what we choose to let affect us. That's a big, what do you choose to let affect you? We do still have the choice.
True.
We literally will always have free will to be able to make those choices. So that's really my take on this. My take home for this, for you guys, is to just remember your free will, your free agency, the ability to be able to say no to things.
Jim, closing arguments?
Well, I'm actually going to piggyback a little bit on what Daniel's saying. Because this whole subject of the frequencies and whatnot, I find it interesting in a certain sense. But on the other hand, I'm just not tuned into it much at all. Like,
You're not tuned into it.
the pun, right?
Very beautiful.
The I can look at it and be like, what is hertz, and it's, the amount of vibrations within a second. And then, okay,
Right.
we can go down that rabbit hole. Where's that even come from? Well, it's the sexadecimal system given to us by the Babylonians is how we measure time. I can go down a doom and gloom rabbit hole beyond what we went to with like the Nazi stuff and all that. But realistically though, for me, like I I keep coming back to the thoughts and memories and experiences of, just me playing like at church on my bass, and I'm tuned to 440. And I can't even tell you how many times I've seen the spirit move across the congregation and people be slayed in the spirit, you know? It's just one of those things, like, you have your own free will, you have to
Mhm.
be knowledgeable on who you are and be conscious of what moves you, because I don't think it really matters what the frequency range of the music that you're listening to or whatever. Like, I don't think that matters. I what moves you and brings you to whatever your higher elevation, is you, that's up to you. So be mindful of these things, I feel like
Definitely.
listening to bad music would be just as bad as eating too much McDonald's, you know, and that's all engineered to control you, mess up your natural gut biome and all that stuff.
Go
Are you conscious
preach,
of these
buddy.
things? Yeah. Are you conscious of it? Okay. Well, if you are, then I don't think it's gonna matter what you're listening to hertz wise. It's what you're putting into you. I mean, like I said, I was tuned in 440 the entire time, and I've seen just phenomenal, just crazy, amazing things. I know I messed the word up.
No,
No,
I
Sorry,
I
agree.
words
love it.
equal hard.
Everyone's
But
messing this word up today. Everyone's messing this word up today.
right. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen God work and move, and the music at the time that was going on was in 440. So, who are you? What moves you? You know, be be mindful. Be mindful. I don't know. There's lots of ways that you can go in this, and I don't think it ultimately matters in the long run. But is there something to it? Maybe. I wanted to sing a Pink Floyd song really hard and sit down and pet and love on my dog. Maybe. Maybe, you
Mm.
know? So that's kind of where I'm going. Yeah, that's what I got. Come hang out with me at
I
the
guess I
Night's
kind of
Watch.
we'll get there in this. We'll get there in a second. But we're going to do another round one more time here. I think where I'm going to go is like, even though everyone's whatever it does to you, it may actually do something to you, but you have the choice of whether you like it or not. If you like the music, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But the thing that I think is most important that's been definitely lost in today's climate or today's world is the choice of being an individual. Just because everyone's watching or listening to a certain music, and that's when you go to a party and everyone's playing it, does and you don't like it, doesn't mean you have to be abrasive, but be yourself. I always say that in the end, be yourself, and your music choice or taste kind of are a reflection of what you are on the inside. And it's okay, like Daniel was also saying, kind of like tagging both of you guys' thing is to say no. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this is a good song. You like it? No. I've never succumbed to peer pressure. I
Mm.
don't. My ex-wife will tell you if someone says one thing, I'll go the opposite way just to spite you. But most of the time, it's come to be in my favor, especially if I feel it. It's come to be beneficiary to me. Like I'll be in a situation where like a club or bar or something, and you just feel a certain vibe happening, and I'm like, I'm out of here. And people are like, no, come on, stay, no. And I just go. I never and then later they'll call me, hey, man, some crazy stuff happened. So like just go with your intuition. If you like something, no matter what you're trying to do, you know what I mean? I'm trying to make you feel a certain way by using music, or they're trying to make you feel a certain way by changing the language and the definitions of words. Like, misinformation, the word is lie. It's not misinformation. Stop changing the language, because we think in thoughts. We think in thoughts. If you change the language, they're doing mind control. It's as simple as that. Don't use the word triggered. Just use the word angry, upset, heat me owed. These are real words that we used to use. All right? Be yourself and just know yourself. Know thyself. It's very important. Magical, where can they find you, buddy?
So, before I even get into that, I just keep like getting the words "What's the frequency?" Kenneth from REM's song in my head over and over and over. So I have a feeling that's whatever. You can find me on.
Whatever.
I mean,
Man, I tell you what, you are a poet and don't know it sometimes. I love it.
so very much so. Oh my God, my name is Miss
Spitting force.
Frequency, and so you can find me obviously on YouTube platform. It's a wonderful platform. Go check me out on Magical Journey, and also you can find me on magicaljourney.com, which has a lot of good stuff on there. Facebook group Magical Journey. There's a theme going here. You get it? Magical. Yeah. Then there's the page for Magical Journey and a page for the Paranormal Files that you can find me on too, for all the good stuff going on with Magical Journey's brand. It's going to start happening.
Good. Jim, where can they find you, my friend?
All right. Well, you can find me at Fisher Spams the Night's Watch here on the good old YouTube. I got a Facebook, got an X. Let's see here. I'm working on getting audio to make an actual podcast, and I'm working on
caught
getting
your,
Rumble set up.
I seen
What?
you the other night. You were interviewing that gentleman that you're in. That was a very good interview, by the way, dude. That was you kind of scoff at your own interviewing skills, but I was not saying I'm a person who knows how to do it the best, but I really enjoyed your interview the other night. If you can go ahead and promote that again. Who did you interview the other night? I can't remember the
You
gentleman's
mean the
name.
last time I was on?
Yeah, not
okay.
on the forum, but on your show. You had a live a couple days ago. It was great.
I had Greg Ogles on, and
That's who
we were
it is.
talking about the documentary coming out, and plus me working for him now to help make these documentaries and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, eventually you'll see me attached also to Relic Films. So there's that. Yeah. So, yeah, that's me. Check me out, and
I'm jammed
yeah.
up. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Magical. What do you got coming up next, buddy? Who you got coming next? I'm sorry, I forgot to ask you.
Friday, I have Sin Schrader Hill coming on Friday.
Oh,
amazing guest. You guys
got so lucky.
watch that. And then Thursday, I'm recording the part 2 of Lyria's story with the poltergeist activity from current forward, I think is the way we're going with that. So those are the couple of things coming up next.
Cool.
All right. My name is Tom Franklin. I run the Eye of Jupiter podcast. This is where you're on right now. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Find me on Rumble. You can find me on Spotify. You can find me on Podbean. You can find me on Twitch, Instagram, and I have an amazing Facebook group where all these fine people that you see in the comments are also writing. This Friday, I will be the episode will drop with Gin Sabricus. You will see that there was an incredible climax at the end of that episode where, I'll let you guys go ahead and check that out. Not that kind of climax, Jim, but it was quite interesting. And then I had him on a second time, and it didn't work at all. So I recorded over the phone with my microphone here. It didn't work well very well, but it's subtitled so you can hear that. And I also just recorded an episode with him yesterday. Wild stuff. It gets crazy. Coming up next week, I will be having on Mr. Neil Ballas, great Neil Ballas, wonderful Neil Ballas, my buddy from Florida. He's going to come on and we're going to talk about transitioning from this world to the next. Then on the 18th, I will be having on Moises Reynoso. He is from here. He is from Campeche, Mexico. I've had him on the old podcast I was on, and we're going to be talking about Mayan folklore, Alushas, and the Ishtabai. He has an inside track. He actually knows people who know things about it and who's actually done some rituals and things like that. And a big announcement, I hope it comes through, sometimes technical issues. I will be interviewing the one and only Mr. M.K. Davis. So that's pretty exciting. Looking forward to that. I will not have any live episode on the 25th. That will be a premiere episode, and as well as the first, that's New Year's Day. There'll also be a premiere episode on that one as well. I also just recorded with Mr. Mr's a young man. He's 15 years old. What is his name? Daniel Lee Barnett. Old. Daniel, he's 15 years old, man, and you have to see the episode, but he got into Bigfoot hunting by mistake. He was looking for a wild cat. He was into going into the forest. And he sent the evidence to Switzerland, and they came back with non-human, proto-human, primate type DNA in England. And he's got documentaries. He's got a book. Young man kicks a lot of butt, even though he kind of has an affliction of autism. But that his style of autism is kind of where he's able to concentrate. And I will also be on his show on the 10th, I think it is, 10th or 11th. I will be on with him. I'm in January here. I will be on with him on the 10th at 1 p.m. Central Time because it's in England. And a lot of other fascinating, guests keep coming back in. Michael Cameron's coming back on. He finally touched base with me again. That's great. And Jen Rebecca's is going to be even more. There's just so many things that are coming out, and we're pushing our way to 1,000. I'm currently 18 subscribers short, but it's just a milestone. Doesn't mean really too much, but it'll help support me and continue doing what I do. And so there's another one, guys. We did it.
Nice.
Yeah. Next time,
by the way,
is you, buddy, Jim.
Yeah. It is. On that actual note, yes, I also have stuff coming out too. So you guys know.
I have a channel too.
Yeah. Get over me entirely.
Get him. Subscribe to the channel, guys.
Yeah, subscribe. Stardust Ranch episode 3 is coming out on Saturday. But Friday, I'm going to give you guys a very long and pretty in-depth behind the scenes on how I actually make those episodes. So if you guys ever want to figure out how to interview people, make it look like they're real when they're unalived, come see how I cook. So
cool. I actually might have to look into that one so I can do some stuff. All right, guys. So this was the Forum of Forbidden. Eye of Jupiter Live, presented by the Forum of Forbidden. Thank you guys so very much for watching the show and being here tonight. Enjoy all 8 of you for staying on for such a long time. And I'm going to go ahead and do your tagline, Jim. What's your tagline?
Go, shorty. It's your birthday. We're going to party like it's your birthday. Oh, okay. Wait. Sorry. Yeah. Let's see here.
5 cents over there.
Yeah. We need to take that up to about 10, but yeah. Tookie. Love ya.
All right, Daniel, what's your tagline, buddy?
May your journey always be magical.
We are the Eye, and we are aware. Love you all.